Assalamu alaikum everyone, my name is Hassan Aziz and today we actually decided to cook chicken. And we cooked full chicken, but we gave it another spin. Rafia and I, my wife, we decided to have a bake-off. So we cooked two different recipes and had some family over, so asked them to do the taste test. You will get their candid feedback. For the challenger, they used skinned chicken, so took the skin off the chicken. But in order to make sure that the flavor is going all the way down deep, they actually scored the meat with the knife and wherever possible, even used the pointed side in order to poke it so that the flavoring and the rub penetrates deep. For the rub, they used 1 tablespoon of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon of crushed fennel, 1 tablespoon of coriander powder, 1 tablespoon of black pepper, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, and 1 tablespoon of paprika. And then they marinated this overnight, or you could do that for about 2 hours again if you are in a rush. Make sure you leave it out at room temperature before you start the cooking process. In that time, they created a soft marinade, very straightforward. 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 tablespoon of fresh crushed mustard, and you want to drizzle that nicely all over the chicken. That gives it a nice flavor, and that flavor is almost cooking at the top. And you want to bake that at about 400 degrees Fahrenheit for the first 40 minutes, and then at about 350 degrees Fahrenheit for another 90 minutes. For the sauce, they took 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 small onion, and they sauteed it nicely until the onion started to turn brown. 4 cloves of crushed garlic. Then they added 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 3 tablespoons of pear juice. You can also use apple juice or apricot juice, and 4 cups of broth. They cooked this for about 45 minutes until the mixture sort of starts to lose a lot of moisture. It gets thickened and you can see the volume go and drop into half. They went a bit fancy and they sauteed some asparagus along with garlic and some butter for an added green touch. So for my procedure, I had used the smoking method, obviously. I had to give it that touch. And I left the skin on. It was another agent for me that added flavor. But one thing I did to the chicken is I asked the butcher to cut the backbone, and you can do the same. And why that's important is when you're grilling the meat, it actually lays nice and flat. And I also did our customary brine. 1 bottle of ginger beer, about 1 cup of vinegar, and 1 tablespoon of salt. And that created our buttermilk / brine mixture, and I marinated it overnight. That allowed me to sort of make sure that it's juicy and also impart a lot of salt and flavor into that chicken. Or if you're on a time crunch, you could do it for about a couple of hours and that should be sufficient. For the marinade, I used 1 tablespoon of paprika, 1 tablespoon of kosher salt, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, half a tablespoon of brown sugar, half a tablespoon of onion powder, half a tablespoon of chili flakes, half a tablespoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and half a tablespoon of fresh crushed mustard. We mix those spices nicely and it's time to apply it on our chicken. So we take it out of the brine and then we pat it dry. One thing that you'll see me do again, something different, is I use the skin to sort of pull onto it and apply that rub all the way inside. When you apply the rub just on the top, when it cooks, that you lose all that flavoring, but I wanted to apply that flavor or the rub all the way on the skin. So you'll see me do is actually pull the skin on certain areas, take the meat out, and actually apply the rub all the way down inside the skin as well. And as usual, we season both sides, inside and out, and we make sure that it's nice and coated in that seasoning, because when it comes out, it needs to be fully flavorful. And I did this the morning after the brine, so I refrigerated it for another 4 hours. If you don't have time, you can do this for about half an hour to 2 hours. Now over to the grill. For the grill, we want to cook this on indirect heat. We did this with a water bath inside the cooking chamber. That allowed the chicken to be nice and moist. And we placed the chicken on top right after we seasoned the grates with our half an onion. And I also placed leftover foil down below in order to collect any of the drippings to make sure that our grill is nice and clean even when we're done the cooking. Once our charcoal is ready, we're gonna place a piece of wood. We use apple wood for that smoke flavor. Now we will be cooking this at about 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 90 minutes to about 2 hours. And we'll give it a check at about 90 minutes to see how it's doing. And we want to cook until the internal temperature of the chicken around the breast is at about 165 degrees Fahrenheit. On the bone, it will typically be a little hotter, so you'll expect something around 175. Once our chicken is cooked, we're actually going to baste it with our hot, spicy barbecue sauce. You can use any one that you like. I use the Stubbs, one of my favorite, and I like it because it's a bit runny, so it gives it a nice glaze. At the same time, it's not super thick. It's time to cut our chicken, slice the white meat, and serve it with our barbecue sauce. It's time for the verdict. Let us see how we did.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. YouTube, I'm here with my beloved and dear friend Hassan, and I'm here to taste test this wonderful creation here. Okay, let's try it. Wow. Pretty good, mashallah. It's soft, well marinated. I'm a mustard guy, so
Okay, good.
it's definitely a win-win there.
Yeah.
Let's try this chicken. Okay, no worries. And this is barbecue?
Yeah. Smoked.
And you can touch the smoke. And it's spicy, it's not your typical barbecue. It has a tangy mesquite taste to it, so mashallah. This one is good too, mashallah.
Try it with the skin, maybe.
That I was hoping you would ask.
And maybe even without the sauce, just the skin, to see how it tastes like.
Definitely. It's definitely crunchy, that's for sure. There you go. That's the spot. Wow. I'm telling you, the skin is not only is it flavorful but very crunchy. I'll show you. We left just enough fat while it's still crunchy on the skin. MashaAllah. If I had to choose, this is A1 and A2. This doesn't even need the barbecue sauce. This one is just as flavorful, but the skin definitely took it over the edge.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Why is it shaking? And you will hear the comments below, or you will hear, and then we'll go with the challenger. I left the skin on, and which was another sort of bit of flavor addition or we mix those spices nicely, our cooking chamber, and place a Ibrahim, I'm recording, bro. Cooking at the top, and it's fresh to the taste, fresh to the tongue, and it's fresh to the tongue.
Mashallah. You should trademark it if possible.
Yeah, for sure. That's the wing, so maybe you want to eat it like a wing.
Oh, this is the wing. Oh, okay. Okay. This is amazing. A new tandoori wing can be taste this good.